Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today I've got a new box from Baofeng. Kind of looks the same as the old box, right? This is actually the NA-K6, which makes you think it's kind of like the Quansheng, and it kind of is, but this one's a tri-bander. Let's go take a look at it. Well, that's not the right side. Very topographical designed box, so when it gets all scrunched up, you can tell where the top of it is. So there's mountains on the front and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 peaks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 peaks. 5? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the topographical map of the mountains on the front. Who knows? But this is the new UV-K6, the typical Baofeng user manual, the K6 series. The radio is the next cool thing. The typical Baofeng packaging. The radio and battery. Got one of those screen peels. Sorry, I've got contractual obligations here with YouTube. I've got to remove this screen protector. It is a requirement. Man, they don't want this thing coming off. You know, these things are supposed to be easy to come off. There we go. That way I look somewhat professional to make up for all my other unprofessional habits. The FCC ID, for those of you that are playing along at home, is 2AJGM-NAK6. All right, while we're here, can you pull this off and still use it as your antenna unscrewing tool? You cannot. They have fixed that problem in the new version of the radio. Our battery pack is the model BC-K626. So battery container, BC, K6, model number 26, 2600 milliamp hours or 2.6 amp hours. 19.24 watt hours, and it is an 8.4 volt battery. USB-C charge bolt on the back and also docking cradle enabled. So let's plug that in with a satisfying click. We get a belt clip, and the belt clip slides right onto the radio, no screws necessary. So they can improve that, so they don't have to sell you screws, but they can't improve the manual. Okay, you get the lanyard. Spare cordage, I like it. You get an AC plug-in desk cradle. This is where there could have been a little bit more thought and engineering. It fits in nice, it looks nice in the cradle, it'll look good sitting on your desk. Desktop charger. But what I would like to have seen was this thing come with a USB-C cable, a wall wart to charge it from USB-C, and the ability to program via USB-C. And that hole is USB-C free, but USB-C shaped, oddly enough. So we got the USB-C missing there. You got the K connector there, and then regular buttons on the side. So I'm going to call that a loss for the charging cradle. The charging cradle output is 8.4 volts, which is what the battery input was, which is kind of interesting. Top secret FBI earpiece. No one will see it operating. The antenna. And this antenna is labeled as FM/136 to 174 and 400 to 520 megahertz. So seems a little stiffer and stronger than your average rubber duck, but rubber duck nonetheless. And for those of you that are curious, it is SMA female on the antenna and SMA male on the radio. That almost felt like it wanted to cross thread, but I saved it at the last minute.
Channel mode.
Oh, it's the same Baofeng lady, but it's a different screen. This screen lights up blue. I wonder if you can change that color. We'll look at the menus here in a second. But we've got dual frequency display, so it's probably a dual watch.
On.
There's your FM radio on the button on the side. These buttons here are programmable. The bottom button is the flashlight, the most important part any handheld radio has to have. And then it comes up, oh, hold on, SOS mode. All right, turn that off. It comes up on 465525, which is not a ham radio frequency.
Frequency mode.
There we go. Let's get out of the memory. Why does it have those
Channel
in memory?
mode. 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20.
Tri-band.
21.
Comes with some weird frequencies programmed into it. That's an interesting button. I don't know what that button is. Let's go look at the manual and see if the manual tells us what the button is. It does give you the pinout for the speaker microphone cable. That's nice. This manual being bent the way it is makes it hard to pick pages. And then we're right into the appendix. So buried somewhere in the instructions, hopefully, is what that key is. One-touch search key. Press and hold to enter one-touch search mode is what that key is. Okay, I know what one-touch search mode is. Do you know what one-touch search mode is? There isn't a one-touch search mode thing listed in the table of contents. So we're just gonna have to guess what one-touch search mode is. And it's not really one-touch, it's long press. And I'm being pedantic on purpose. And it's just searching for UHF frequencies. Okay, so now let's turn on another radio and we'll do 446. And we'll key up KM9G on 446. Didn't find it. KM9G testing 446, 446, KM9G, 446. There we go, it found it. So we just had to go around the dial a couple of times in the search mode there in order to make it happen. And then none is no tones. So it'll search for tones also. Go back to exit. And now let's see how different these menus are than our normal menus. Channel name.
Cancel. 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 Cancel.
Receive frequency, transmit frequency, CTCSS, DCS, CTCSS, DCS, bandwidth wide.
Channel bandwidth.
So it announces the menu heading, but it doesn't announce the menu sub. So like it should say wide, narrow, wide, narrow. So that way our vision impaired friends can tell what they're on, because you don't know where you are and you don't know where you went to.
Confirm. Channel bandwidth. Confirm.
So transmit power high, silence mode, TX forbid is off. So I'm allowed to transmit. Shift direction, offset. So shift direction is going to be your positive or negative offset. And then offset is going to be what the offset actually is. Memory channel, delete channel, VFO frequency range.
1 4 4 0 0 0 1 4 4 3 0 0.
Oh, interesting. So you can set the frequency range on the VFO. So it's set to 400 to 470 right now. Scan for tones. Scan for DCS tones. Save all the tones. Scan mode is CO or SE or TO or CO. So let's see what the scan mode comes back as. Okay. So this will lock on, TO will lock onto a station, and then after a couple of minutes, seconds, whatever, it will start scanning again, regardless of whether somebody's talking. CO will scan until it hears something, stop, listen for as long as that person is talking, and then it will start scanning again. And SE will just scan, find one thing, and then stop. DTMFST. Let's see what that one is. So that's whether you can hear the side tones or not when someone keys in their side tones. So we're on 146.5.2, and I say KM9G testing DTMF tones. And we do testing complete. So you can't hear them now.
Menu.
So those are off. Side tone, ANI, side tone, DT plus ANI. So we'll set that up to DT.
Confirm.
All right, and then we get a little tone note, frequency note up in the display there to let us know that we are in the thing. Okay, and then now we can key up KM9G testing DTMF tones again. So there we go. So you can turn that on or off. So I guess it's whether you can hear it or not. I don't know if it's whether you can hear somebody else do it. So let's go back into the menu.
Menu.
And let's go in and turn that to off.
Confirm.
And pick up our other radio. Turn this volume all the way down. I'm going to send some DTMF tones now. So it does not silence incoming DTMF tones, only your own personal DTMF tones, which is good for operational security if you don't want to have that heard. But if you're going to have somebody send them back to you, then you've got your speaker here. So if you're running your own earpiece, then it's not a thing anyway. I guess you just don't have the DTMF tones in your own headset. PTT ID would allow you to send an ID whenever you press the push to talk button. The PTT light is 800 milliseconds. Squelch is set to 3. RX save is 1 to 1. What is RX save? Selects the ratio of sleep cycles to awake cycles. 1 to 1, 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1. The higher number, the longer the battery lasts. The higher number increases the RX sleep cycle, but you may miss the first few syllables before the RX opens. Okay. Power saving type stuff, I get it. Vox switch, turn voice on or off. TX overtime, and language is English. Voice is on. Menu hang time is 10 seconds. Beep prompt is on. Roger beep is off. Power on type is logo or message. or voltage. So let's switch that to message.
Confirm.
Because you're supposed to be able to edit the message directly on the radio now instead of having to go onto software. Power on tone, none, tone, voice. Set that to tone.
Confirm.
Power on message. Here we can edit the message. So I'm going to change this to put in my call sign. And it looks like it's lowercase letters. So how do we get it to be uppercase letters? There we go. Hit the pound key, the octothorpe. So we do letter K, there's a K. Do letter M, there's an M. Hit the octothorpe to get to numbers. There's a 9. Hit the octothorpe again to get to letters. And we do G, KM9G. And we hit menu to save.
Confirm.
Now we've got a power on message of my call sign. We've got a tone, power on password, dual watch, double wait, MDFA name, MDFB name. Let's go back to that dual watch double wait because that's something new. Dual watch off disables the dual watch function to display only the channel number and frequency of the working channel. Double wait, monitor A and B at the same time, so it'll show, so it's the difference between showing 2 frequencies like we have now, or 1 frequency, single wait, display A and B simultaneously, monitor only the main band A or B. So those are your choices there. All right, menu,
Menu.
MDFA, MDFB, and that tells you whether you're displaying the channel name or the frequency number. For memory, RPSTE is to get rid of your squelch tail elimination,
Menu.
or to enable your squelch tail elimination. RPT-RL is to delay the tail. Alert is 1750 Hertz. Frequency step is 2.5, so that's your tuning knob when you press the up and down arrow.
Frequency step.
You can make some big steps. So 2.5 to 50 are your choices. Busy lockout is off, side tone is on, alarm mode is on site instead of transmitting when you key the alarm. So PF1 is your button, it says radio on or off, so that's FM radio. PF1 long press is alarm on or off. PF2 is torch, the flashlight on or off, and there's no long press on button 2. ABR is set to 5 seconds. ABR is your display illumination time. So right now the display is not illuminated, and now it is illuminated, and if we wait for 5 seconds, it will become non-illuminated again. Brightness is 3. I have so much light here that I can't tell.
Confirm.
Oh, no, it doesn't change the light brightness, it changes the text brightness. So it's set to brightness 1 and I can barely see it myself. And it doesn't change it until you confirm it.
Confirm.
It doesn't change it actively while you're pressing the button. So you have to play with it, save it, view it, and then go back. LCD reflex, normal or reflex. And that should have switched it to white text on a black background instead of black text on a white background, which I think actually makes it
Confirm.
brighter in person. There's so much more contrast that it makes it more noticeable is what I was trying to get at.
Confirm.
Auto lock is off. Radio inter is off. Set the monitor function to listen to walker calls or not in FM mode, so interruption. So if I wanted to listen to the FM radio uninterrupted, I can pick the radio interruption thing, so I can listen to my favorite ball game and not hear any of y'all yapping on the repeater. Reset VFO. Stopwatch is on. Why do radios include a stopwatch? Probably for the same reason they include a torch. Firmware version is 0.22. Channel names, so I can edit channel names directly from the radio, so now I don't need to do that when I'm programming the radio. All right, there is a couple of questions that you guys always ask. This is my Shorecom SW102, which is fantastic for testing out power and SWR out of a radio. And this has a couple of things. This is the older model. The new models do not come with the ground plane attachment, but you can get a tiger tail and do that instead, because you're going to want to have your antenna have something to push against besides just your body. And what I do with this guy here is I test the SWR and the power that goes out through the rubber ducky antenna. Put that on the output side, put this on the input side, and then put this on the radio. Okay, hold it down and turn it on. All right, let's take a look at power.
1, 4, 6, 5, 2, 0. Power. Confirm.
Power is high. All right, 5.7 watts, 5.68 watts, 2.37 SWRs. And let's do power again.
Menu. Confirm.
Power is low. KM9G testing. We have 5.36 SWR, 1.77 watts. Awesome. Why does the SWR go up when the power goes down? That's an interesting feature there. All right, let's go to 70 centimeters.
4, 4, 6, 0, 0, 0. Menu. Power. Confirmed.
High on 446. All right, 4.8 watts, 2.03 to 1 SWR.
Menu. Power. Confirmed.
Power is low. KM9G testing 446. We've got 4.29 watts on low power at 2.04 to 1 SWR. That's interesting that that didn't change.
Menu. Power. Confirmed.
All right, back to high power. Yeah, the difference between high power and low power on 70 centimeters is not much. 4.74 watts, not much at all. All right, and we are supposed to be a tri-band radio. Let's do 223
5 0 0.
on high power. And we're putting out terrible SWR. 3.84 watts at 8.96 SWR. Wow.
Menu.
So you want to get a different antenna.
Power. Confirmed.
All right, this is low power on 223/500. And again, no change. So 3.79 watts and 9.15 to 1 SWR. That's crazy. We just took a trip around the menus on the NA-K6, the new radio from Baofeng. We also took a look at power output and SWRs on the included antenna, which were not very good. I will note that the radio still puts out the same amount of power whether you have a perfect matched antenna or not, which is also an interesting kind of thing. I don't know how they're doing that. So be sure you are subscribed because there's got to be some spectral purity nonsense going on with this thing, and we're going to check that out in the next video on this radio. If you are interested in getting this radio and all of its wonderful craziness, weirdness, and playing around with it and figuring out what all can be done and making it all clean and all kinds of ham worthy, there are links in the description down below for the radio and for the SW102 power meter thing that I was using. In the meantime, there's a video right over here I think you might enjoy next. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.